Have you noticed your legs feeling weaker lately, even though you're eating plenty of fruit? Here's the thing, some fruits we think are healthy might actually be quietly stealing our leg strength. Yes, not all fruits are good for people over 60. In fact, 7 common fruits that many seniors eat every day can lead to inflammation, muscle loss, and even increase your chances of falling. But don't worry, today, I'll walk you through each of them. And more importantly, I'll show you some simple swaps to help keep your legs stronger, one step at a time. Stick with me, fruit number 3 surprised even me. Hi there, I'm Linda, and today, we need to talk about fruit. Seriously. I know, it sounds strange. Fruit is supposed to be healthy, right? But new research shows that some fruits are packed with too much fructose, preservatives, or even acids that trigger inflammation, especially dangerous after 60. If you care about walking steady, keeping your balance, and avoiding falls, this video is for you. Stay with me until the end. I'll also share some better, safer fruit options you can enjoy without worry. 1. Pineapple. Let me tell you a quick story. Ray is 72. Every morning, like clockwork, he makes himself a big pineapple smoothie. It's sweet, refreshing, and he truly believes he's doing something great for his health. But recently, Ray started noticing something odd. His knees were aching. Getting up from his chair felt harder. He just thought it was age catching up. Until his friend Susan, also 72, mentioned something interesting. She used to eat pineapple too, but switched to blueberries a few months ago. Since then, she's felt less stiffness in her knees and can walk longer without discomfort. What's going on here? Well, pineapple might seem like a healthy choice, but it's actually very high in natural sugars and acidity. That combination can quietly trigger inflammation in the joints. Over time, it may wear down the collagen that cushions your knees and ankles, making movements like standing, walking, or even climbing stairs more painful than they should be. And the thing is, Ray had no idea. He thought he was doing the right thing. Now, if you're someone who loves pineapple, you don't have to give it up completely. But if you're having any leg pain, or your knees feel stiff and sore, it might be worth cutting back. Instead, try swapping in some blueberries or strawberries. They're not only lower in sugar, but they also contain natural anti-inflammatory compounds that help protect your joints. Simple change, right? But it could mean a world of difference when it comes to standing tall and walking strong. Now, let's move on to the next fruit. This one sounds harmless, but it might be hurting your bones every single day. 2. Overripe bananas. Mary is 68, and not long ago, her daughter moved in to help around the house. Every morning, she'd hand Mary a perfectly soft, sweet banana. "It's good for your energy, Mom," she'd say. And Mary loved it. No mess, no prep, just grab and eat. But after a few months, Mary noticed something strange. She was waking up at night with painful leg cramps. The kind that jolts you out of bed and leaves your calves sore the next day. At first, she thought it was just part of aging. But the cramps kept coming. Turns out, the bananas she was eating weren't helping. They might have been part of the problem. See, when bananas get too ripe, when they're extra soft and speckled brown, they actually lose some of their potassium. At the same time, their sugar content spikes. That mix can throw off your electrolyte balance. And for older adults, that's a big deal. Muscles need steady levels of potassium to contract and relax properly. Without it, you're more likely to get cramps, feel weak, or even have trouble with circulation in your legs. Now, bananas aren't bad in themselves. But timing matters. If you enjoy bananas, try eating them when they're just yellow, not mushy. That's when their potassium levels are better and the sugar hasn't gone wild. Even better? Pair that banana with a small handful of nuts or a spoon of natural peanut butter. That little bit of healthy fat slows down sugar absorption and gives your muscles something steady to work with. It's a small change, but it can help your legs feel more stable, especially at night. And if you've ever woken up with a cramp that won't go away, you know, it's worth doing. Now, let's talk about fruit number 3. It seems totally innocent, maybe even healthy, but it's one of the sneakiest traps for your legs. 3. Grapes. Carl is 74, retired, and loves his quiet evenings. Most nights, he'll kick back in his recliner, turn on the TV, and reach for his favorite snack, grapes. They're healthy, right? He told me once. Better than chips. And he's right, to a point. But here's the thing, one handful turns into 2, then 3, and suddenly, he's eaten half the bag. It seems harmless. But over the past few months, Carl noticed something worrying. When he stood up, he felt dizzy, a little off balance. He even caught himself almost stumbling once. He brushed it off at first. Just getting older, he said. But it wasn't just age. See, grapes are sweet, and not in a little way. They're loaded with natural sugar, and unlike an apple or pear, they don't have much fiber to slow things down. So when you eat a bunch of grapes, that sugar hits your bloodstream fast. For someone over 60, that can lead to sharp spikes and drops in blood sugar. And when blood sugar crashes, so can your energy, your focus, and even your balance. Worse, these sugar spikes mess with your circulation. That's a problem for your legs, which rely on good blood flow to stay strong and stable. If you've been feeling lightheaded, weak in the knees, or just off, and grapes are your go-to snack, it might be time to rethink. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up grapes forever. But eat them with something that slows down the sugar, like a small handful of almonds or walnuts. Even better, try switching to green apples or pears. They still give you sweetness, but with more fiber and less sugar rush. It's about keeping things steady. Your legs, and your balance, depend on it. And now, fruit number 4. Most people think it's totally safe. But did you know it might actually raise your risk of osteoporosis? Let's talk about that next. 4. Canned orange juice. Helen, 68, has a morning routine she's stuck to for years. Wake up, stretch a little, and pour herself a glass of orange juice from the fridge. It makes her feel refreshed, and for a long time, she thought it was a healthy start to the day. But lately, she's been feeling more sluggish. Her legs feel heavy in the mornings. She even told me, it's getting harder to climb the stairs, and I'm not sure why. The thing is, she hasn't changed her diet much, or so she thought. Here's what Helen didn't realize, that store-bought canned orange juice she's been drinking. It's packed with sugar, nearly as much as a can of soda. It may come from oranges, but most of the fiber is gone. What's left is a concentrated dose of fructose that hits your system hard and fast. When you drink that kind of juice daily, it doesn't just mess with your blood sugar. It can actually lead to muscle weakness, especially in your legs and hips. Over time, too much sugar in the bloodstream can damage tiny blood vessels, reduce circulation, and make it harder for muscles to stay strong and active. So while Helen thought she was doing something good for her body, she was unknowingly making things harder for herself, one glass at a time. Now, this doesn't mean you have to give up oranges, or that you can't enjoy a sweet taste in the morning. The better choice? Eat a whole orange. The fiber in the fruit slows down how sugar is absorbed and helps your body process it more gently. You still get the vitamin C, but without the blood sugar spike. If you're already drinking canned juice out of habit, try switching it up gradually. Add a few slices of fresh orange to your water. Or blend a small orange with Greek yogurt and ice for a more balanced treat. Little changes like this can go a long way in protecting your legs, your balance, and your energy, especially after 60. Now, let's talk about the 5th fruit on our list. Most people forget about it entirely, but for older adults, it can quietly cause more harm than you'd ever expect. 5. Watermelon. George is 74, and he loves summer. Warm sun, a rocking chair on the porch, and a big bowl of cold watermelon, it's his idea of a perfect afternoon. Last July, he was eating watermelon almost every single day. It felt light, fresh, and healthy. What could possibly go wrong? Well, something strange started happening. George began feeling dizzy when he stood up too fast. A couple of times, he actually stumbled. Nothing serious, but it shook him up. I didn't feel steady, he said, and I wasn't sure why. I thought I was staying hydrated. Here's the thing, watermelon is full of water, but that doesn't mean it's hydrating the way your body needs, especially as you get older. While watermelon does quench thirst, it's actually very low in key electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These minerals help regulate your blood pressure and keep your muscles and nerves working right. So if you're eating lots of watermelon, especially in hot weather, you may be flushing out electrolytes without replacing them. That can lead to low blood pressure, dizziness, or even fainting. And for older adults, those little balance slips, they can lead to big problems, like falls, fractures, or a long recovery. So what can you do? First, don't worry, you don't have to give up watermelon entirely. But if you're eating it often, pair it with something that helps keep your electrolytes balanced. A small handful of roasted sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds can do the trick. Even a pinch of mineral salt on your watermelon slice might help, especially if you've been sweating a lot. Also, pay attention to how your body feels after eating. If you notice dizziness, fatigue, or lightheadedness, especially after a big fruit snack, it might be time to adjust how you're fueling your body. Simple tweaks like this can make a big difference. It's not about cutting out all your favorites. It's about learning how to enjoy them in a way that works better for your body now. Up next, fruit number 6. It's something most people see as traditional and harmless, but it could be the reason you're tossing and turning all night, with sore legs by morning. 6. Canned cherries, or fruit cocktail. Let me tell you about Mr. Dan. Every evening after dinner, he had a little treat he loved, a bowl of chilled canned cherries. It was his small joy before bedtime. Sweet, soft, easy to eat, it felt like a harmless way to end the day. But lately, he'd been waking up with stiff, aching joints, especially in the knees and ankles. At first, he thought it was just age catching up. I figured, hey, I'm over 70, of course I'm gonna be a little sore in the morning, he said. But the stiffness kept getting worse. And it started affecting his morning walks, his favorite part of the day. Here's the part most people don't realize. Canned cherries, or those pretty fruit cocktails you see in jars, often come soaked in heavy syrup. That syrup is packed with added sugar and preservatives, things like high fructose corn syrup and sulfites. And those ingredients can actually trigger inflammation in your body, especially if you're eating them regularly. Inflammation doesn't just show up as swelling. In older adults, it often creeps in as joint stiffness, leg pain, or a dull ache that just won't go away. Over time, that low-level inflammation can weaken the muscles around your joints, making movement harder and balance more shaky. Mr. Dan thought he was doing something nice for himself. But the truth is, his treat was quietly working against him. Now, if cherries are your thing, and I totally get it, they can still be part of your routine. But try switching to fresh cherries when they're in season. Or keep a bag of unsweetened frozen cherries or raspberries in your freezer. They're just as delicious when chilled, and they come without the extra sugar and chemicals. Another tip? Pair your fruit with something that balances blood sugar, like a small handful of nuts, or a spoonful of plain yogurt. It helps keep your energy steady and protects your joints in the long run. It's the little things that add up. One small habit, repeated daily, can either support your health or slowly chip away at it. And the good news? You don't need to give up everything you enjoy. Just tweak how you enjoy it. And now, we've come to number 7. This next fruit shows up in so many desserts, it's practically tradition. But over time, it could be quietly draining the strength from your hips, and you wouldn't even know it until it's too late. 7. Caramel apples / pre-sliced apples. Let me tell you about Aunt Ruth. Every afternoon, like clockwork, she'd sit on her porch swing with her favorite treat, a caramel apple. Sometimes it was one of those big ones from the grocery store, other times it was the little pre-sliced apples in a pack. Sweet, easy to chew, and a little nostalgic, it reminded her of fall fairs when she was younger. But not long ago, she started noticing something. Her hips were aching more than usual. Climbing stairs became harder. She had to grip the railing tighter, and sometimes she'd pause halfway up just to catch her breath. The discomfort wasn't sharp, but it was there, lingering, almost every day. At first, she didn't connect the dots. Why would apples, something we've always been told are healthy, cause any trouble? Well, here's the surprising part. Caramel apples, of course, are packed with sugar. That alone can cause spikes in blood sugar, which leads to inflammation throughout the body. But it's not just the caramel. Even those neatly packaged pre-sliced apples can be a hidden problem. To keep them from browning, they're often treated with preservatives, sometimes including artificial antioxidants or added sugars. Over time, those extras can mess with your cells. And in older adults, they can trigger low-level inflammation that weakens muscles and affects the joints, especially around the hips and knees. That slow, steady inflammation? It's one of the reasons some people feel more stiffness or soreness without any injury. It sneaks up. And it takes energy and strength away from the places you need it most, like your legs and balance. Now, here's the good news. Apples themselves are still a great food. But the best kind is the simple kind, whole, fresh apples with the skin on. That skin holds fiber and nutrients that help reduce inflammation and support healthy digestion and circulation. Aunt Ruth made a small change. Instead of reaching for the caramel apple or the bag of pre-sliced ones, she started slicing her own at home. She'd sprinkle a little cinnamon on top, or dip the slices in almond butter when she wanted something a little extra. Within a few weeks, she noticed something. She felt lighter on her feet. Her hips still ached a bit, but nowhere near as much. And she wasn't dreading the stairs anymore. Sometimes it's not about cutting out what you love, it's just about going back to the basics. Whole food. Real food. No preservatives, no coatings, no shortcuts. So if you've got a soft spot for apples, keep enjoying them. Just go for the real deal. A crisp apple, straight from the fridge, skin and all. Your body will thank you. And now that you've seen all 7 foods, take a moment to think, are any of them part of your daily habits? Because a few small changes can bring big relief to your legs, your balance, and your overall energy. You don't need to do it all at once. Just start with one. Maybe it's that caramel apple, or maybe it's switching out that morning juice. Your legs carry you through life. Let's treat them right. So here's the quick rundown. These are the 7 fruits you might want to think twice about before making them a daily habit. Pineapple. Overripe bananas. Grapes. Canned orange juice. Watermelon. Canned cherries. Caramel or prepackaged apples. It's easy to think these foods are all healthy, but sometimes what seems good for us can actually put extra stress on our legs and joints. And when you're counting on your legs to keep you moving and independent, every little thing matters. The good news? Today is a fresh start. You can choose foods that support strong legs, better balance, and a happier, more active life. It's never too late to make a change that your body will thank you for. Are you eating any of these fruits every day? I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let's chat together as a community. If you found this video helpful, please hit that follow button and share it with your kids, grandkids, and friends. Everyone deserves to feel healthy and strong, especially after 60. Thanks for sticking with me until the end. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep working together, one steady step at a time, to protect our health and keep our feet strong.